Hi Leo, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. Your key to the week this week is the Devil card. So this week, my dear Leos, there is a chance, especially as we head in towards the holiday season, that you could be overindulging. But there's also, and the overwhelming feeling that I got from this when I placed it on the board was literally that this week it's like you're trying to convince yourself there is only the square hole. And I will force this circle in there if it's the last, or this triangle or whatever it might be. I will force this in there regardless of what it is. Now, I don't know if any of you know, like, I'm going to give you an example. You know, when you're little and you've kind of taken something out of the way that it's supposed to be and it doesn't fit anymore. And so you try to force it, and then when you force it, it breaks. This is the same thing, right? Whether this is with your self-care, whether this is with a job, whether it's with a relationship, whether it's with some kind of communication or an idea that you have. This week, if you try to force it, you're going to break something. The Devil card showing up is giving you a heads up this week, all right? There are other ways to do whatever it is that you're trying to do, and my advice to you would be to take your time with it, all right? Take your time to find, you've got a brilliant brain, Leo. You really, really do. So find a different avenue. If what you're trying to do at this moment in time is not working, find a different way to do it before you break something or potentially break yourself, okay? And we don't want to break ourselves, all right? With that said, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help us all on our paths to our highest vibration and good. So for your actions and options, you've got the Page of Wands, right? So this is great. This is actually a card that resonates to a very leonine frequency as far as I'm concerned. Use your creativity, all right? This is a time to really get beyond it. And also, I have to say, this is not a week, because you've got the Devil card and the Page of Wands. This is not a week it's not a week to embellish, all right? This week, if you try to promise more than you can deliver, you're going to really regret it, all right? So maybe this is a week to kind of sell what is rather than a million things that it isn't, right? This is also a time where convincing yourself that, you know what, I can do a backflip. When was the last time you did one? I think I was about 14. How old are you? 55. Okay, you know what? It's probably not going to happen in the way that you envision. This is why I say to you, like, this week there's a potential for you to try to convince yourself that maybe everything is fine or something is better than it is, or do you know what I mean? Like, don't do that. Just stick with the fact. Use your creativity, absolutely. Tap into that. And also be mindful, because another way this could show up as well, remember it's your options. Be mindful of the information that is given to you this week. You know, this would be a time to kind of really, you know, turn your mind over it. Give yourself over to a little bit of contemplation around a situation, but definitely do use your creativity, because I think it's going to snap you out of this idea that there's only one way to do something. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Two of Cups. Now, you've got this with the Devil card. There's a few ways that this could show up, right? Now on, so I don't know if you can see that, it's because the light is so bright here, which, listen, I ain't complaining. It's been dark, dreary, wet and cold for the last few days, weeks. So I'm just going to enjoy it. But one way that this could show up, I don't know if you can see that a bit better now, yeah? One way that this could show up, one way that this could show... Sorry, I'm such a dork. I like things like that. I'm sorry. So one way that this could show up is an alliance, a partnership or a relationship that is actually not necessarily very good for you. All right, so this is something that you need to be aware of, especially if it's something that is offered to you at this moment in time. Notwithstanding the winter solstice, which, by the way, if you haven't got your seat, you should be getting it. And trust me, I am not promising more than I can deliver here. The winter solstice is a perennial. I've been running this now. This will be the 5th year that I've been running it at £33.33. I like to keep this accessible so that everybody can come along. if they want to or if they choose. If you can't make it on the day 7 p.m. UK time on the 21st of December, then you can watch the replay, and there is going to be a couple of goodies there as well. What I will say to you is we're looking at the astrology, we're looking at the numerology, we're looking at the energy of the year ahead, and we are going to tap you into your very own future life progression so that you can see what 2023 looks like for you specifically. And obviously we will be talking human design because one of my amazing guests, or should I say my amazing guest, Denise Matthew, is back this year. You guys have seen me make many videos with her. Unfortunately, as predicted in one of my own videos, see, I'm not exempt to any of this stuff. The second guest is unable to make it, so it will just be the two of us, but I can assure you it will still be as brilliant. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, watch out with who you partner up with or who you buddy up with. The reason I say this is I get the feeling that someone is right now, they're probably like, yeah, they're really hyped for it, really stoked for it. And then quickly into the new year, you may potentially realize, so this is a bit of a longer prediction for you guys because you'll be breaking up at the moment, but you'll be expecting to go back in working with somebody. They may not show up or deliver in the same way that you do. And this is something that I want you to be very mindful of. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, similar kind of energy, but with this Page of Wands, this is a time for you to get creative around managing people. All right, so this week you may kind of need to say, okay, you know what, this person is usually like this. This is what they work like. This is how they are. This is, you know, this is all of that stuff. And so you're having to work with somebody else's rhythm rather than try to force them to behave in a way that you like. Work with and around them so that you kind of use their own momentum against them, if that makes sense, you know, not in a nefarious way. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, I like this because it suggests that you're tunneling. All right, so you might not necessarily, it's like you might see some obstacles and just be like, you know what, I'll bat those completely out of the way, but also don't force it. All right, so just take a moment and kind of see how and where things are at. Now when it comes to your come on brain, when it comes to your those of you that are retired and no longer working, could be some conversations this week about a creative endeavor, something that maybe you want to do at an amateur level, and this could be a lot of fun. I gotta be honest with the Devil card there, don't bite off more than you can chew. For your love and relations, you've got the Three of Cups. Look at that, the Two of Cups and then the Three of Cups. So partnership, relationship looks good this week. There's potentially a lot of fun, potentially a lot of, maybe even like you and your significant other kind of like egging each other on. You know, like really sort of naughty but healthy camaraderie, if that makes sense. I like this. For those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments, it could be very sexy. It could be very sensual. It can also be kind of like you and your partner are wrapped up in each other. On the opposite end of this scale, there is a potential for a friend to tell you something about a significant other that maybe sets a bit of a cat amongst the pigeons. I don't know how much of this you actually want to take on board, but if it fits with the experience that you've been having recently, then I would say give it some thought. All right, for those of you that are single, look, you know, this could be a week where maybe a friend becomes a lover, for a fling, for a kind of hookup or a get together, if that's your kind of thing. It's fun, it's flirty, it's banterful, it's enjoyable. It's not for the long term. It's just to enjoy the here and now, right? And there could be a lot of fun. There could be a lot of invites through friends, etc. as well. So this could be really nice in that regard. And then for your money and materials, we've got the Five of Swords. I wouldn't be surprised if this week we see some big financial hit take place, right? What I mean by this is, because we've got the Five of Swords as the money card. Sorry. We've got so this card has come up, I think, 3 times so far in this position, which tells me that something on the wider world stage is happening with the world's money. And I wouldn't be surprised if this week we see a big hit to the markets of some sort. I really hope I'm wrong on this front. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some big financial debate or kind of issue come forward. And when it does, I think for a lot of people, it's going to be kind of like a hang on moment. What the f is going on? All right. So just keep that in mind. On a more personal level, this could be a dispute that arises with either a friend or a significant other over money. If a friend or a partner asks you, maybe partner is a bit different, but if a friend asks you to borrow money, this is not the week to say yes, all right? It just really isn't. It will cause more problems than you hope. And maybe in the short term, the problem that is being caused is that, you know, you saying no to a friend, like about loaning them money or whatever, is what causes the problem. It's very, very possible. For your physical health and vitality, this is going to be the systems of the body. So your nervous system this week could be taking a bit of a beating. I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice. That's not a diagnosis. But if you have any challenges or issues and you check in with a healthcare professional, ask them to check that part of you. When it comes to your home and environment, the Five of Swords, especially with the Two of Cups and the Devil, there's a potential here that there could be a problem or an issue with the neighbours. I don't think it will last very long, but it could be like a moment where it gets a little bit tense. All right, so just keep that in mind. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week, as best as you possibly can. It looks like it's going to be a mixed bag, to be fair. There's some really good stuff here and there. There's some iffy stuff as well. With that said, take care. I would love to see you at the winter solstice. I'll see you soon.